Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey, guys. It's your boy Kevin Forte, guys. We're taking a look today at your Pittsburgh Penguins. Is the sky falling in Pittsburgh, or is it just me? Not a good look here in training camp for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're without Sidney Crosby for at least. Again, I hate when Ron Hextall uses that word. At least, I think it was 3 weeks or 6 weeks, at least 6 weeks. And then you hear Evgeny Malkin could be out for at least 4 to 6 weeks. So now your top two centers are out for at least times, which could mean Halloween, probably a little bit after that, or it could mean February. Who really knows? It could be 10 years from now. Maybe they're healthy then. Not a great look for the Pittsburgh Penguins in training camp. Obviously, a lot of what are we gonna do? What's going on? There is some concern there, and obviously everything with the goaltending position, which I am. This is a transition. I'm transitioning. The goaltending situation is also a little scary. You have Tristan Jarry, and why do I always forget his name? Casey DeSmith. Thank you. So you have your two goalies. And Brian Burke was talking on some podcasts this summer, or this fall even, saying how he has a lot of trust in Tristan Jarry, that you have to gain playoff experience to get better in the playoffs, which obviously was not great for him last year. And we've seen Pittsburgh goalies do really well in their first couple playoffs, and it ends up, he ends up not being that great, falling flat. I mean, Matt Murray right now in Ottawa. So, it's one of those things. I think Pittsburgh's in a spot where it's a transition, and there's going to be some growing pains in Pittsburgh, and I don't think the Penguins are necessarily used to that. I mean, let's be honest, they've been a really good hockey team really since I've been alive or watching hockey. I mean, obviously in the early 2000s they had their struggles, but by the time I started watching hockey around 2008, 2009, that's right around the time they started getting Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Marc-Andre Fleury, and the history, reveals it for itself how good Pittsburgh has been during that stretch. But with that said, we've just been so, concentrated on it being Tristan Jarry and Casey DeSmith all summer. Is there the possibility that another goaltender from UMASS maybe gets in that conversation? Now, from the NHL Penguins, Filip Lindberg is eyeing down the starting goaltender job for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, cautious optimism here, because obviously this is a guy nobody's really heard too much about, but because of the situation in Pittsburgh, and we've seen this happen with Matt Murray, and we've seen this happen with other goalies in the Pittsburgh organization, could we be in store for another situation where one of these goaltenders just comes out of nowhere? And that could be Filip Lindberg this year. So, you may be asking yourself, first off, who is Filip Lindberg? And two, why is he going to win the starting job? Well, we're going to try and answer some of that here. Filip Lindberg, from Espoo, Finland, 22-year-old goaltender born in 1999, the last day of 1999, January 31st, 1999. That's an interesting little fact there for Filip Lindberg. He was a 7th round pick, 197th overall back in 2019. No, not by the Pittsburgh Penguins, by the Minnesota Wild. Now, if I'm not mistaken, was he a part of the Jason Zucker trade? I am not positive, but I'm going to look now, because that it sounds familiar, that name. Let's see here. Come on, load up for me here. So, this is why NHL.com not good with that stuff at all. Come on. Filip Lindberg, Penguins trade. All right. Alright, so it doesn't even talk about him getting in the deal. Yeah, okay, so he wasn't traded for then. Interesting. Okay, no. Continue undrafted free agent success. So he is an undrafted free agent. Okay, so I guess the Wild just released his rights. So Filip Lindberg, 7th round pick back in 2019. Born on the last day of the 90s, or the entire that entire generation. He spent 3 seasons in UMass Amherst in the East League. He played in 17 games in his first season. He picked up 11 wins in those 17 games. A 160 goals against average. In his second season, 18 games, so one more game, and he picked up only 8 wins. So he actually played worse in his second season with a 1.91 goals against average. He actually played worse that second season. Most recently this year in 2020-2021, once again with UMass Amherst, in 15 games he picked up 10 wins. So the best win percentage he had in his tenure in UMass. So he won 10 of 15 games, a 1.24 goals against average, which was his best over his career in UMass. And he also played in the 2019 World Junior Under-20 Championship for Team Finland, and he played 7 games there. So Filip Lindberg is a name that maybe you haven't heard much about, but it seems like a guy that is in the right headspace. And he may not necessarily be the most skilled or the guy that everybody's been talking about. But these are the goaltenders that tend to be the best. And that's what I think is so interesting here about Filip Lindberg. Coming in with lots of confidence and not just content playing in Wilkes-Barre. I mean, that's probably where he'll end up, is in Wilkes-Barre. But with that mindset, the good thing here is if he doesn't make the roster out of training camp, he's going to say, I'm going to prove Pittsburgh wrong. I'm going to prove that I should be in the NHL. And that's going to keep him motivated when he goes to the AHL in Wilkes-Barre with the Baby Penguins. And he may just find an opportunity, at the very least, to be the third goaltender in Pittsburgh. And I know that's not what he's setting himself out for this season. He's setting the expectation much higher, to be the starter in Pittsburgh. But again, if the questions arise like we saw last season between Jarry and DeSmith, does Lindberg get that opportunity? And I think at some point this season, he will get that opportunity. How well he does in that, we're going to have to wait and find out. But watch for Filip Lindberg, the 22-year-old goaltender that came into Pittsburgh as an unsigned, drafted goaltender. Keep your eye on this guy, because I think there is some potential here. And again, with Pittsburgh's situation in between the pipes, maybe Lindberg, the guy from UMass, ends up being the savior of the in between the pipes for Pittsburgh, which I think would be, at the very least, a very interesting story with how this all turns out. But like I said, I think this is a great story, and we'll see what happens. So keep an eye on Filip Lindberg going into the season this year. So that's it, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Where do you think Filip Lindberg will fall on opening night? Will he be the starting goaltender playing game number 1 for the Pittsburgh Penguins? Will he beat DeSmith out for the backup? Or is he maybe the third goaltender that plays as a starter in Wilkes-Barre? And when there's injuries, potentially to guys like Jarry and DeSmith through the season, Lindberg's name will be the first one on that list to get a call. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. And if you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL and more videos just like this one, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching this video. Guys, I will see you again next time.